the hill. Welcome to Wayne's World of Mandolin. If you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to do so. Turn notifications on. I try to release a new video every week. So today, we're back to our playlist of learning through bluegrass standards. I feel like this tune would probably make almost everyone's top 10 list of standards that we need to learn. We're looking at it in the key of A, and as always, it isn't going to be just about this song. When we're learning a tune like this, we might at some point feel like we have one break that we can play on a standard like this, but it really shouldn't be that way. We should be able to play it with an improvisational spirit that speaks the bluegrass language. What I just played was really close to the melody all the way through that tune. You could memorize it like that and maybe feel like you don't really have any of your own personality or any of the other bluegrass language that you'd like to be able to apply to the tune. So many times in the world of bluegrass, something like that is played near the end of a solo. You could go back and listen to early recordings like Chubby Wise playing fiddle and some of the bluesy solo things that would happen near the end of a break. Let's borrow from those ideas, but then apply our own kind of technique to it. If you're familiar with the channel and you've been watching any of the other videos, part of this playlist was Bill Monroe's Uncle Pen and the particular style of mandolin that gets played in that with the closed positions. And one phrase in particular, you can hear that phrase in a lot of Monroe's solos that he played on Uncle Pen. Not always. Going back to kind of reinforce the idea that these breaks would come out different depending on when you're playing it. So the same tune here, I'm just going to try to make that phrase fit. It's a common bluegrass Bill Monroe phrase that most of us have heard even if we don't play it. So it's a perfectly logical thing to pair these together. They're both in the key of A, very similar tempos. So now I'll play that same solo and try to play that phrase on the end of the break to tag. So if you were looking for a little more power in the tag, there would be an option. Just immediately go into something that we take right out of the Bill Monroe playbook, okay? Another video that you'll find in this playlist is on my way back to the old home, where I make a big deal out of really talking about Doyle Lawson's solo on that tune and how we can learn a lot about using our chop chord shape to play out of a chord position. That particular song is in B flat. So we're just going to transpose that down. The same exact language that was happening on that tune. Now I'm going to use that as a tag for the Cabin Home on the Hill solo. Those phrases work great because they set your hand right back up to play back in the chop chord position. So all of these are going to be great options to maybe help you take off down this road of not being trapped in learning a solo and playing it. You've probably noticed each one of these breaks that I've played has been different. That last time, instead of the melody, the melody would go up to this A note, and I'm using the D string to reinforce the note. The last round that I played, that's another phrase that I've borrowed from Doyle Lawson from his Old Hometown intro that's, again, one of probably in my top 5 as far as solid bluegrass intros. Speaking of that topic, I have a video titled that, Solid Bluegrass Intros, and it focuses on the key of A. I might have even used Cabin Home on the Hill to demonstrate that. A lot of melodies tend to start on the root, third, or the fifth. So when you're learning this tune, let's extract as much from this as we can. That first note is the first melody note. These are pickup notes. They're melody also, but this is where, if we were kicking the song off, as they say, this is where the rest of the band would start playing. So we want that series of notes to be really strong. Basic mandolin in first position, playing bluegrass mandolin in A. Look at the open strings. Now to the D. That's where we would have went to the D chord, and I borrowed Doyle Lawson's phrase from the Old Hometown. Now up to an A note. So again, I want a really solid phrase. Leading into an E chord there. But when you learn that part of the melody, look, I'm playing with my middle finger all the way up to the 7th fret. That's okay. This is bluegrass playing, and I know the next phrase, I'm going to have plenty of an opportunity to shift back to first position. So as we're playing through this, when you learn that line, it isn't really like that's one line for Cabin Home on the Hill at all. That's a phrase that you're going to play a lot when you're leading into the root note of A. You're going to do that hundreds of times. So as you practice a solo like this, be mindful of that we're really learning a lot more than just this one song. And then we can take this chord progression and apply those other phrases from other tunes and other melodies that we've learned and begin to have a little bit more of an improvisational spirit and not feel trapped into playing the same solo all the time. So hopefully you can extract, something from what I'm talking about here today and maybe take off on this journey, even if it's not this song. Maybe the same mentality could be applied to another bluegrass standard. Good luck.